What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about the Goodyear Wrangler Duratrac. We're going to be doing a 15,000 mile review as well as covering its strengths and weaknesses. Now I want to start this video by saying this is at least my second set to my recollection that I've owned. I had a set of 285/70 17s on my 2012 Ram and I really liked them. These are a 275/60/20 on the 2019 Ram. So first we're going to get into treadwear. So I want to show you that my truck in fact has 15,000 miles. Now I don't have a way to prove this to you. All right, there we go, just over 15, but I got this truck with about 400 miles on it. They had to, I'm in Minnesota, Twin Cities area. They had to drive it from Chicago, Illinois to me to get it. So that racked up about 400 miles or so. So roughly 15,000 miles, because I got these tires put on, and I'll put the video link in this video description for that video, but I did get these tires put on literally my second day of owning the truck with like 500 miles on the clock. So these tires essentially have 15,000 miles on them, combination of city and highway. I'm not afraid of the skinny pedal. I mean, it gets put to the floor quite a bit. Not so much from a dead stop, more or less once I'm rolling. I mean, there have been times where I've gotten irritated from a red light or something and I take off and skid from a stop, but I'm not like a 100% balls to the walls driver. I would say I'm probably at like the 60 to 70% as far as aggressiveness goes for the most part. So these specific tires, now depending on what size you get, you're either going to get 16/32 tread or 18/32 tread. This size brand new came in 16/32, and I did rotate these tires around the 9,000 or 10,000 mile mark, so they should be pretty even. We're going to check right now. The front tread depth gauge here. As you can see, the front is it's under 13, so it's at 12/32 on the front driver side. Also 12/32 on the passenger side front. We've got 13/32 on the passenger rear, and looks like 13/32 again on the driver's side rear. So the rears are 1/32 tread more than the front, which makes sense because, like I said, those were on the rear for the first probably 8,000 to 10,000, and then I switched them. So we got another 1/32 to go until they're matched, but I'm going to run them longer. Probably going to run these till fall, then rotate them out, because at that point these will probably have more tread and I want those in the back for the snow. All right, so what does this info mean? All right, so if it started at 16/32 and the lowest tires are at 12/32, that means that we've lost 4/32. Now, in theory, if we've gone through 4/32 worth of tread in 15,000 miles, if I were just to run these completely bald to 0/32, I should in theory be able to get another 45,000 miles out of these tires. 15,000 miles per 4/32. 4 goes into 12 3 times. Boom, math. Now, of course, most people aren't going to run them completely bald, especially if you have to deal with a winter with snow like I do. You're not going to want to go below like 4/32 tread, honestly. So realistically, since we said we could basically go another 45,000 miles and I already have the 15, that's basically 60K, which is pretty insane, given, you know, the aggressive nature of the tire. Typically a tire like this doesn't last that long. So, I mean, being realistic about it, we can probably get 40 to 50K out of these tires, which in my opinion is pretty good for an all-terrain, an aggressive all-terrain, pushing around a 5,500 pound truck all day long. Now, that being said, brings us to our next point, which is, you know, treadwear. So it's going to vary on your vehicle. You know, if you find any tire on like Discount Tire, Tire Rack, any guy with a dually or a guy that drives like a complete peckerhead is going to say the tire's trash and it doesn't wear for crap. I have a buddy at work. He's got a 07 Ram 3500 dually with a Cummins 8-foot bed crew cab. So it's a big truck, heavy truck. Diesel, so it puts a lot of torque to the ground. He's got the same tires and his are lower tread than mine, and I've had mine longer. We're probably around the same miles wise because he drives a lot farther to work, but my tires are definitely in better shape for the mileage. So I mean, that's going to play a huge factor. If you got a heavy truck, if you're heavy on the foot when you're taking off from a stop, If you got a high torque vehicle like a diesel, if you're towing anything, a boat, a camper, anything like that, all those things, along with, you know, extreme heats and stuff like that, are going to play a factor in tread wear on a tire. So keep that in mind when people are saying that this tire's junk, this blah, 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 blah. It's a great, this tire specifically, I'm not saying just this tire, but any review that somebody says that about, make sure you pay attention to what they're driving and what the circumstances are. Here's the coworker's diesel dually I was talking about. Now, of course, he's got more tread on the outside. It's like he's got them overinflated. So in the middle, where they're the least amount of tread, he's at 8/30 seconds on the steers. 6 and 7. But again, you can see where the dirt is touching. The last ½ inch of the tire isn't even hitting the ground. So he's got them overinflated. They're way more tread on the outside. But obviously diesel, he said he's had them on for 15 to 20K, and he's down to basically 6/30 seconds all the way around, as opposed to my 12/30 seconds. So just goes to show torque, power, weight, all that comes into effect. And I'd be lying if I said he didn't drive like a peckerhead. So now that we've kind of covered what the tread depth starts with, what kind of tread wear you can expect in different situations and driving aspects of it, we can talk about the tread itself now and how it handles. Now, a tire like this, let's just compare it to a normal street tire. Here's your normal, just cheap street tire that you'd see. This is a 2006 Camry that these are on. As you can see, the main focus is just latitudinal lines. That's going to give you side-to-side traction. And there's, you know, quite a few little sipes going around, but there's more rubber touching the ground than with the Duratrac, because the only voids really are these big ones going up and down. Now you compare that, you know, highway tread per se to, say, the Duratrac, and you can basically take and like squish these lugs together. You know, there's a little bit of play there. Just kind of as an example, at the truck shop, if we put tires on, like big old mud huckers on a semi-truck with basically an inch worth of tread, the drivers complain about that a lot, because especially once you get some heavy weight over the rear tires, the truck kind of wants to do this going down the road. It gets squirrely in the rear end. It doesn't feel planted because there's so much flexion in how much tread you have. Now, you don't have a ton of that problem with the Duratrac, even with the 18/30 seconds tread. But I simply wanted to bring that point up because no matter what, any sort of pavement or concrete condition, whether it's dry or wet, a normal street tire is probably going to outperform the Duratrac. That's the weakest point of the Duratrac, is pavement traction, whether it's wet, dry. Now, when it comes to ice and snow, honestly, nothing gets good traction on ice, and no matter what, unless you're studded, which some Duratracs, not this size, but some sizes come pre-marked. There's like little pin marks, and you can get them studded if you live where studs are legal. Here they are not. But in the snow and in the mud, they do great. I have not had the BFG All-Terrain TAKO 2 yet, but I have had the TAKO number 1, the original, and these compared to the original Taco, I'm gonna call them, these are better in mud for sure, because they just grab and throw the mud better. As you can see, there's like little voids, there's little treads even down in the tread groove, and that kind of helps to clear. So when you're spinning the tires, it flings the mud out, as where the Taco 1, again, haven't tried the Taco 2s, and I might actually get the Taco 2s, by the way, when I step up tire size. But the Taco 1s, they just kind of pack with mud. They don't really clear out, in my opinion. That's my experience with it. So definitely give the edge to the Duratrac in the mud. Now, yes, they're not quite as good as a straight up mud tire. Like if you look at a Nitto mud grappler, that's going to be your best bet for the mud on a, you know, normal truck like this. But that mud grappler is so loud, you can literally hear those things coming a mile away. I will play a sound clip here of me driving down the road. This does have a little bit of road noise over stock, but it's nothing extreme. It's nowhere near what a mud terrain would be. And then as far as snow goes, I would say they're about neck and neck with the Taco 1, maybe a little bit better. I would say slightly better than the Taco 1. Again, I cannot compare to the Taco 2 because I have not owned them. Also note that the Taco 2s come with 15-30 seconds tread only, as opposed to the 16 or 18-30 seconds on the Duratrac. And the Taco 1 used to be 16-30 seconds. So I'm not sure why they only come with 15 now, if that's part of just having a little bit better handling, because like I said, more tread equals worse pavement handling. So maybe they just didn't want real deep tread there. But so really for the price and the all-aroundness of the tire, I feel this is the best tire you can get for your truck, either this or the BFG Taco, because both of them are going to do okay to well in mud. Both are going to do well in the snow, and both are going to handle, you know, for what they are, okay on the pavement, wet or dry. And you're going to get decent mileage out of them, as I've proven, as long as you're not, you know, as previously stated, pulling something super heavy, driving like a peckerhead, flooring it all the time, towing heavy, whatever, big diesel truck. You know, if you're driving it like a normal human being, you can get decent mileage out of these tires, and the BFGs too. I've seen decent mileage out of those. So and like I said, both of them are pretty quiet. I have, like I said, owned the BFG Taco 1s. Those were on my Cummins, in fact, my 05 Cummins that I had. So I like both tires. Honestly, they both have somewhat different strengths and weaknesses. I can't pick between the two. It's really a matter of preference. The Duratrac looks more aggressive with the side lugs and everything, but they don't make these tires in a 285/65/20, which might be what I'm going to try and go with now that I got the leveling kit on. That equates to like a 34.5 inch by 11.5 inch wide tire. I'm not going to be able to fit 35 by 12.5s with only an 1.5 inch level with my mud flaps and everything. I don't want to do trimming. Even the 285/65 might be too big. So if those are too big, then I will either stick with these or maybe go with like a 285/60/20, which is essentially a 33.5 by 11.5. Basically a 1/2 inch taller and wider than these tires, but I don't know if it's worth the money just for that little gain. So we'll see if we can fit the 34s in there. But I just wanted to tell you guys about, you know, the wear that I've been getting out of them and what you can expect out of these tires if you're interested in them, or if you're just kind of stuck between these and the BFG. I would say if like these are basically like a, let's just say for an all-terrain sake, these are like a 10 out of 10 for traction in mud and snow. I would say the BFG is probably like a 7 to 8 in the mud and a 9 or 10 in the snow, just like the Duratrac. So they're very close, slight trade-offs. The BFG is not as good in the mud, but it's going to be better on the pavement. So really depends on what you're going to be doing with the tire. But I like these. Just wanted to put that info out there. So hopefully this video was useful to you. If it was, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe for more videos like this. Check me out on Facebook at Tony the Truck Guy. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.